It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the promotional pictures that they released for Season 7B of Fear the Walking Dead and Season 11, Part 2 of The Walking Dead. Stay tuned, we'll be right back to break down these pictures. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. I don't want to waste too much time on each specific photo because we're going to take a look at a bunch of them, so I'm going to go through some of them fairly quickly. With that said, let's jump right into it. So first, we're going to take a look at the pictures for Season 11, Part 2 of The Walking Dead. We already looked at a few pictures that they released, so I'm not going to go through those again, so I'm just going to take a look at the ones that they just recently released. This first one is one that has Princess and Eugene. Not too much to say about this one. Then we have this pretty interesting one of Eugene. Not exactly sure where he is, obviously at Commonwealth somewhere, but it is very interesting that he is wandering around because obviously, if you remember, he was arrested by the Commonwealth military. Now what's also interesting is that he has something in hand. Maybe that's just water and they have him cleaning offices and rooms and things like that. But then again, if that's the case, why is he dressed like that? So something doesn't add up. But if you look at the background, it looks like he's in some sort of a office which could be in use, or it could just be an abandoned office that they have him cleaning, if that's what this is. The next picture is one of Connie and Kelly. I'm assuming they're communicating either with each other or with other people because of the pen and paper that Connie is holding. Not too much to say about this one either. Next one is another one of just Connie. This is most likely when the group is riding towards Commonwealth, because we did see a few clips of Connie and Kelly in this kind of area with Commonwealth soldiers all around them. The next picture is one with Ezekiel talking to Carol. Not much to say here. Obviously, they've had their rocky relationship, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens and where their story goes. But I'm assuming this is also at Commonwealth, and this is when they got to Commonwealth. Next picture is this one of Ezekiel. Not much to say here. It's just a pretty standard picture of Ezekiel. And then we have this pretty interesting picture of none other than Sebastian, Pamela Milton, the leader of Commonwealth's son, holding some sort of a sword. And we have Mercer in the background. They're in the middle of the woods. Now what's interesting is, obviously, if you remember, Sebastian was always surrounded by Commonwealth militia and he was protected. He didn't have to fight for himself. So it's interesting that they have him here, potentially training with the commander of the Commonwealth military, Mercer. This leads me to think that maybe this is at the time when there's chaos at the Commonwealth and they think that Sebastian, in order to protect himself, would need to learn how to protect himself and fight for himself. I'm assuming that's what this is. I could be wrong, but I just find it odd that Sebastian is there potentially training when he is not the type of character at the Commonwealth to need to, unless he's forced. The next one is, I think, around the same area. We have none other than Daryl in front of a table with a lot of weapons on it. He has his crossbow there as well, or a crossbow. I'm assuming that that sword that you see is the one that we saw Sebastian holding, but I could be wrong. But obviously, this means that Sebastian, Mercer, and Daryl are in this spot doing something. Maybe training, maybe something to that nature. But I do sense a lot of tension between Daryl and Sebastian coming up. I'm not saying he's gonna necessarily get a critical story from the comics that revolved around Sebastian. All I'm saying is that it's a possibility that there's gonna be tension between Daryl and Sebastian and also Carol and Sebastian. Next pictures we're gonna take a look at are actually from Season 7B of Fear the Walking Dead. We have a pretty standard photo of Alicia. Not much to say here. We still don't know what they're gonna do with her. Obviously, there was that big reveal at the end of last episode about her condition and about her hand. So I'm definitely intrigued to see what they're gonna do with her and whether she's gonna make it. At this point, I think it's extremely unrealistic if she makes it, but again, with Fear, it's tough to say what the writers are gonna do. It seems like they're driven more by shock value than anything else. Next picture is one of Luciana. Not much to say here. Again, a standard picture of Luciana. I'm assuming this is the spot where Althea had the CRM helicopter take the survivors to. The next one is this one of Morgan talking to Luciana. Obviously, they are in the submarine. Next one we have is this one of Grace and the baby. This is obviously at the tower. The tower being the community that Strand is leading in a way. Next one we have is this one at the tower also of Victor Strand talking to John Dory Sr. Not much to say here. There's definitely going to be a lot of conflict internally between Strand and others living there. And at this point, Strand is the villain of this story. As much as people want to pretend that's not the case, that's the case. That's what they're doing. Let's see what they're gonna do next with Strand and what the long-term plan is for the character. Next picture we have is this one of Danny Salazar on the radio talking to someone. Not much to say here as well. Assuming that they're just scavenging the area, trying to find supplies and things like that. But that's pretty much all the pictures that they released and everything that I wanted to go through in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.